Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. It is the second day of the official mass action called by the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga in his declaration that they are pushing for the cost of living to come down, among other things. They have also demonstrated and indicated, and he has also called upon his supporters that the demonstrations must be done in accordance with the law. But the rebuttal from the government is worrying because there are horrific and very horrible signs and symptoms that the government is hell-bent to turning this country into a banana republic. Lawlessness. A few hours ago, it was reported that some goons took matters into their hands and invaded Uhuru Kenyatta's farm in Ruai. Pauline Njoroge is reporting it this way. By the way, Pauline Njoroge is a very close ally of President Uhuru Kenyatta. When you want to know what is happening within the circles of the former president, then Pauline Njoroge will easily give you more intel. So this is what she said. She started by saying the government has gone rogue, and it is in capital letters. Then she says former President Uhuru Kenyatta's farm currently being invaded by over 1,000 goons. They have accessed the farm from Kamaki's side. For those who know that area, you will know what I'm talking about. I have tried to contact a few people who are there because I want photos or videos of this, because this is just unacceptable. What worries me the most is the manner of replies that I got. I just sampled just two of them. The first person who feels that whatever is being done is just right is called Philip Githinji. Philip Githinji is telling Pauline Njoroge after this tweet that that's the same way his dad acquired the farm. It's called grabbing while still at it. How does it become your problem or our problem? Are you a Kenyatta? The last time I checked, you weren't related at all. So according to this guy called Philip Githinji, he feels that since Pauline Njoroge is not a member of the Kenyatta family, then she must keep quiet when there is an illegality committed against the first family, the first founding father's family. And it worries me because when we go that direction, it means, you remember the famous, when they went for you, I did not speak. They went for him, I did not speak. Then finally they came for me and there was no one to speak for me. And Philip Githinji must understand that today it is happening for the Kenyatta family, and we don't want to talk because we are not the Kenyatta family. They will come for you and there will be no one to talk because all of them shall have been annihilated. But there's another reason in Kenyan who was saying that what gets me worried is if they went for Kenyatta, one of the powerful families in Kenya, what about me, an ordinary citizen with only an ID? You see, this guy is called Eugene. Eugene is asking a question that is very pertinent. Kenyatta family is one of the most powerful families in Kenya. So if some goons can have the audacity to invade his farm, can you ask yourself, what about an ordinary Kenyan? Like this guy says, he only has an ID. What will you do if they decide to invade your house? Leave alone, because sometimes you don't even have a shamba, a land, something that you can, there are people who live in this country who do not have an ancestral land, or if it's there, it's just a fifth of an acre or a 16th of an acre. They don't know what they will do next. So what will happen if these goons invade your house? Ledama Lekina is even putting it more blatantly. This is what Ledama said. Ledama took to Twitter and said, talk of destruction of property sponsored by the state. At Rigathi Gachagua, goons are currently stationed at former President Uhuru Kenyatta's land in Ruai. They have destroyed the fence and are currently subdividing the land as a condition to start pushing back Azimio demonstrators from there. things are going to get nasty. I can point a finger to the government. The reason why I can point a finger is because, one, we have had in the past, just a few days ago, when the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua blamed the former president of sponsoring Azimio protests. And I remember at one point in church, I think in Meru, Tharaka Nithi, where he said that Uhuru Kenyatta is the one who destroyed this economy, and the very little that is left, he's now sending Raila to completely destroy it. And he told Uhuru Kenyatta to talk to Raila to stop this nonsense. So it can tell you that makes me have a feeling that it is Rigathi Gachagua who is responsible for this. Number two, Raila Odinga has come out in public twice. At one point he said that there was a meeting that was being chaired by Rigathi Gachagua in the presence of the majority leader in the National Assembly, Mr. Kimani Ichung'wah, who is also the Kikuyu MP, and Ndindi Nyoro, who is the member of parliament of Kiharu. And they presided over goons, and they were planning how to attack Raila Amolo supporters. And yesterday, there was another leak that there were vehicles, ambulance vehicles, which were ferrying weapons, crude weapons, both modern and old and crude weapons, that were to be used to kill Azimio supporters in their demonstrations, and that some goons had been booked into some hotels in Western, in Nairobi, in Nyanza, and they were targeting certain individuals within the Azimio. So this makes me feel that these are the same goons that we've been talking about. They are now leashed upon innocent Kenyans. If this is true, because it goes without saying, it's obviously meant to intimidate Uhuru Kenyatta to detach himself from the Azimio, because they feel it is Uhuru Kenyatta who is sponsoring the demonstrations. You know, it makes you, this tells you just how insensitive the government is. That when Kenyans go out to ask for the cost of living to come down, they feel that it is Uhuru Kenyatta who is sponsoring the demonstrations. Raila has conducted mass actions before, and they were not together with Uhuru Kenyatta. So who was sponsoring such demonstrations? Can you stop Kenyans who are hungry by intimidating them? It's not possible. Let them get the reality of the matter, that Kenyans are talking about issues that matter to them, and they will not stop until the cost of living comes down. They want electoral justice. I've mentioned before, appointment into offices that must include the face of Kenya. And if we continue in this direction, that we can wake up one day and say that since this land was grabbed, I want to go and take it over. Tomorrow they will come for Rigathi Gachagua, because regime changes. There's no permanent situation in the world. You've seen some cases being leveled against the deputy president, and of course those cases were abandoned as a result of lack of evidence, and we were told that they were politically machinated. But you never know. Tomorrow, some Kenyans will just wake up and say, Deputy President grabbed this, and they will go for it. We must have a country where, if there is a legality that has been performed, why can't they go to court? They can issue a court order. A court can decide that they take over the land if they feel that it was illegally acquired. But let me ask you, if we start looking at those who have grabbed and illegally acquired property in this country, is there any leader who will remain innocent? Is there any leader? Is there anyone who can remain impeccable in this? We can't have, ladies and gentlemen. And so I want to call upon anybody who is sponsoring this. It's unnecessary. Where is the police when all this is happening? If at all this, whatever has been said is true, where is the police? Are they guarding the goons? Because we've seen this happening before, where goons are being given security to invade people's property. They said that it is the Azimio, and that has been the talk of Rigathi Gachagua, when they were in Kisii, wherever they are. They is telling them that Raila Odinga wants to destroy property, and they will not allow it. These are now goons from the government side who have decided to invade property. Really, does it make sense? So, ladies and gentlemen, we really need to condemn such kind of atrocities. It's we don't have a space in Kenya. Such kind of illegalities do not have a space in our Kenya today. People are demonstrating because they are demanding for for their rights. But I said we cannot shed more blood because innocent Kenyans are asking the price of hunger to come down. We cannot. The police must know that there is what we call individual responsibility. And even as we speak, I know the ICC is within the country. And when the time comes, all this shall be investigated. We are in a digital era. And I know people are taking photos and videos and even secret audio. This will be availed in the fullness of time. And whoever who is responsible for this must carry his or her own cross. So it's really not acceptable. I thought that maybe the supporters, as they had indicated, that it was the supporters who are becoming rowdy. But now it turns out that the government that is condemning vandalizing pieces of property of others is now responsible for sponsoring goons to break into private property. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Please share with me in the comment section.